Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Let's think about this for a sec, Ted. Why would somebody put a guarantee on a box? Very interesting.
Go on, I'm listening.
Here's the way I see it, Ted. Guy puts a fancy guarantee in a box because he wants you to feel all warm and toasty inside.
Yeah, makes a man feel good.
Of course it does. Why shouldn't it? But for now, for your customer's sake, for your daughter's sake, you might want to think about buying a quality product from me.
Okay, I'll buy from you.
Oh, that's what?
Tired of the financial world selling you things you don't understand? I'll show you how to figure out what's right for you and what's not.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, six-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
Of all the buying decisions you will have to make, one of the biggest and scariest of them all is who to trust with your money. And while there's a lot of great financial advisors out there, there are also many who will say or do just about anything to convince you to hand over your money to them. And given the constant bombardment of money messages coming from the financial world, we've got internet pop-up ads, ads on the radio and TV, and assuming you're over the age of 55, all these free dinner seminar invitations that keep coming in the mail to you each and every day. So how do you know really what products are right for you and who's going to get ready to pull a Tommy Boy on you? In fact, in the movie Tommy Boy, actors Chris Farley and David Spade play the part of salesmen trying to peddle non-guaranteed brake pads to parts dealers. After unsuccessfully convincing this potential customer to buy their brake pads, in a last-ditch desperate effort, Farley makes up something that is clearly a bunch of BS, and lo and behold, much to his surprise, the customer buys it hook, line, and sinker. And while buying a line of BS about brake pads may not seem too dangerous, investing in financial products can be one of the scariest times of your life, and believe me, it's serious business. Admit it. The financial world is complicated, and the things you hear from them sometimes make a lot of sense and are sometimes simple BS, just like Tommy Boy. Well, welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement, and I am that little man in the sweater vest, retirement planning specialist and fiduciary, Tony Walker. And today, we're going to piggyback on last week's episode on how to be sure you have plenty of guaranteed income in retirement, and more importantly, how one of the most popular products you can invest in to replace income, annuities, can do just that. But before we get started, let me introduce the producer of the Worry-Free Retirement, none other than America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orender, along with his favorite sidekick, technical director and producer, Megan Murphy. Oh, and speaking of salesmen, my granddad said he could spot a BSer from 20 miles away. He called these folks long-nosed phonies, whatever that means. And since Granddad worked for the phone company all of his life, he used to say that he wouldn't trust most salesmen as far as he could throw a telephone pole. That's not very far, is it? Anyway, last week on our show, we discussed our favorite couple, Jeff and Dina, and the issue of what happens to their guaranteed lifetime income, something I call mailbox money, when one of them dies. We imagined that each of them was drawing Social Security, and Jeff died first. Problem is, not only will Dina have to grieve the death of her husband, she'll soon be grieving the loss of her Social Security, a loss of over $1,500 per month. And furthermore, since Jeff left all of his 401k in the stock market, she now has to turn this money on. She's got to create income, and now she has the fear of running out of money. Why? Because the stock market is not guaranteed. Remember, folks, it's usually not a good idea to try to replace guaranteed income with income that is not guaranteed. This is why annuities are becoming more and more popular. You see, annuities, which are not Wall Street products, but products issued and backed by insurance companies, are the only products that can guarantee you won't run out of money in retirement, period. In fact, recently, with the passage of the Secure Act, something we have covered in great detail in previous episodes, Congress specifically addressed the need for 401k plans to begin offering annuities to their participants. Why? Because the government knows something I've been preaching to savers for years, that currently 401ks do not offer mailbox money. Only annuities can do that. And while Wall Street will still control most of the 401k market, what you're about to witness is a new kid on the 401k block. That's right, insurance companies. And since it appears you're going to start hearing more and more about annuities, why not learn the pros and cons of them, especially something in the insurance company world we call an income rider.
A what?
An income rider is something added to the annuity contract and in most cases comes with an additional charge or premium. The income rider is not an actual value, but actually a calculation value used to determine your eventual lifetime income, or what I call mailbox money. Now, most income riders will go away upon the death of the annuity owner. And while these income riders are a great way to replace guaranteed income or mailbox money with more guaranteed income, they are also one of the most oversold and underexplained products by annuity peddlers everywhere. But never fear, when I return, I'm going to break this down in layman's terms so you can decide for yourself if an income rider is right for you. Stay tuned. I'm Tony Walker. I'll be right back. Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. You know, we care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started.
And now, back to the WorryFree Retirement with your host, Tony Walker.
Let me ask you a question. What if there was an investment that would guarantee you 10% on your money? 10% guaranteed for life on money that would guarantee to pay you an income for the rest of your life. Would you be willing to hand over your money to me if I could do that? Yes or no?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Of course you would. And here's the good news. There is a product that can do just that. Problem is, there is a huge catch and a huge cost. Something most advisors either don't understand or don't explain to unsuspecting consumers. The cost of these income riders, if not utilized properly, can be huge. But since these income riders are offered by most insurance companies issuing annuities, and seeing as though all it takes to sell these products is an insurance license, there's hundreds of advisors and agents selling them. Believe me, from what I'm seeing, there are some real Tommy boys out there that will say just about anything to get you to buy them. In other words, you're not getting the whole story. I see it each and every day as people share with me the annuities they have purchased from others and what they thought they were getting.
But for now, for your customer's sake, for your daughter's sake, you might want to think about buying a quality product from me.
So keep in mind, an annuity is not an investment, it's a contract. It is not issued or backed by Wall Street, but rather by insurance companies. I like to say that Wall Street is in the business of trying to grow your money at all cost. The insurance company's objective is to protect your money at all cost. Now be aware, whenever you see an insurance company add a rider to a contract, there's going to be a cost. Let's take the example of your homeowner's insurance. Let's say that you insure your home for $300,000, and after talking to your homeowner's insurance agent, you ask about a $20,000 ring you just inherited from Aunt Martha. You want it covered in case you lose it. Now, upon discovering that your homeowner's policy does not cover Aunt Martha's $20,000 ring, the agent suggests a rider, an extra rider that will protect the full $20,000 of this ring should you lose it. So he informs you that it's $300 per year extra for this rider. Is this making sense? So the insurance company has the risk of losing this ring and the money if you lose it. That's $20,000 they're out. They're not going to give it to you for free. So let's take a look at the math. You pay $300 per year for this rider to protect Aunt Martha's $20,000 ring. You do this for 30 years and you never lose the ring, and eventually you give it to one of your children. What is really the true cost? Well, it's 30 years at $300 for something you never used, and it totals about $9,000. That's $9,000 that's gone forever. Now let's say in year 30 you actually croak, which you're gone. What was the true cost? Well, the true cost was the $9,000 plus all the interest you could have earned had you not given the money to the company. You following this? But you say, Tony, if I had lost the ring, wouldn't I get the $20,000? Well, that's true, and therein lies the dilemma with securing guaranteed income from an income rider attached to an annuity. It too has a cost, and this cost may result, listen closely, in no benefit to your family. Something the Tommy boys of the world seem to fail to mention to you. Here's what we're going to do. Stay tuned. I'm going to come back and I'm going to go into great detail about the income rider, how it works, and how to properly calculate it for you and your family. Good stuff coming up. You're watching the Worry-Free Retirement.
Tired of the financial world chasing after your money? Dinner seminar invitations? Annoying pop-up ads on your computer from out-of-state advisors? It all adds up to confusion. There is a better way. Meet in person with nationally recognized retirement specialist Tony Walker. Tony's personal one-on-one approach has helped thousands of savers worry less about money, and best of all, Tony's right in our own backyard. Don't leave your retirement to chance. Make the short drive to meet in person with Tony now. To get started, simply log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today. Not a week goes by without someone coming into my office, usually after rushing into buying an annuity from someone who didn't properly explain how these income riders work, and I have to share the bad news that the income rider is not what they thought it to be. In other words, they just experienced a Tommy boy moment and were not told the whole story. Again, there's nothing wrong with income riders attached to annuities. We sell a ton of them. The problem is buying something that you really don't understand, and worse yet, think you've got. In the end, it's kind of like the example we used for the rider to cover that ring. If you never lose the ring, the insurance company keeps all the money and you get nothing in return. Knowing this was a huge issue years ago, realizing that savers were not understanding these products, I spent well into the six figures to develop software that would provide full disclosure of exactly how income riders work. Here's a look at one right here. So in our example of Jeff and Dina, what we assumed in this income software, notice there's two values. You see the contract value and the income account value. Now, since this product pays a bonus, the income value starts out at $330, the contract value $300. Now notice up above where it says assumes 0% growth. Well, this income value is paying 6-7%, whatever it is, but notice the contract value, if we assume it never grows, which it might not, as you'll notice, stays at $300,000, while the income account is going through the roof. So what is the point, Tony? Well, there's a huge disconnect going on right now because most people, when they come in, all they've been sold is the income rider. And folks, what I'm getting ready to show on the whiteboard, the income rider, listen closely, is really not a real value. The purpose of the income value is to calculate your mailbox money. And it's kind of just like that rider you add to the homeowner's policy for the ring. That rider, the income rider, and that corresponding mailbox money is not for your kids. It's only for you and your spouse. In fact, let's go back full screen and see what we did here. So in this example, what we did at age 72, that would be Jeff, that's the holder. And remember, we imagined he passed away. Well, Dina's going to lose over $1,500 a month in Social Security. So if Jeff had this in the stock market, Dina's going to be scared to death because she needs guaranteed income to replace the guaranteed income she just lost. But voila, she kicks in the income, and we notice that it's $22,185. Now this income is paid to Dina forever. That's a long time, folks. If she lives 40 years, it doesn't matter, but there's a catch. Notice what's happening over on that contract value. Again, it might grow and it might not. We're assuming that it doesn't grow. Notice immediately when Dina takes out $22,185, the contract value drops to $277. And each year it keeps dropping. In fact, as we fast forward, Dina is the partner here, so we'll go out to age 78. Let's imagine that at age 79, Dina passes away. What's in the contract value in this example? Nothing. So you say, well, Tony, I don't get it. Why in the world would my kids not get that money? Because it's a rider, folks. Remember, it's just like the ring. If you don't use it, you lose it. The income rider is not meant for the kids. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk over to the whiteboard and I'm going to go through an example. We're going to go into a little more detail on this and help you understand the difference between an annuity with no income rider and one with an income rider. Let's take a look. So we're going to imagine that we write an annuity with no income rider. By the way, folks, there's a great booklet I wrote called The Annuity Decision Guide for Savers. This is an excellent booklet. You can find it on our website at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That one, along with Mailbox Money for Life, will help to explain the difference between an accumulation annuity, what the purpose of that is, and an income rider annuity, and what the purpose of that is as well. So what we do when we're sitting down with people, we're laying out the game plan, and through our split IRA concept with Charles Schwab as the flexible tool, we put the annuities in the backdrop. That's our backstop. That's what we're going to use to secure your mailbox money. So we can go one of two ways with this. So we can go with a no income rider, all right? And there's usually never a fee for that. People like that. So if you want something that's safe, you want to try to get some decent growth on it over time with no risk and no fees, we would use a product with no income rider. Now the other option is what we're talking about today, is an annuity with an income rider. So the only reason you would want that rider is for future mailbox money. Now you might be saying, if you watch this show a lot, well, Tony, why wouldn't everybody want mailbox money? There are a lot of times, folks, that people do not want the mailbox money because of the fees associated with it. Remember, the income rider adds a fee. Oh, let me say something real quick. Unfortunately, a lot of people come to us sharing their horror stories of all these dinner seminars they're attending. Now again, I know some of them are legit, but some of these things, folks, you better be careful. One of the worst practices I'm seeing right now is people out there pitching annuities that are paying income riders of 3 and 4%, which they do. And some of those don't have fees. Here's the problem with that. Many people come to me and they'll share their stuff and they say, oh, by the way, I got this annuity and it's guaranteed 4% for life. I look at it because not many things are guaranteed 4% for life. And I'll say, sir, did you realize that was an income annuity? That 4%, okay, is only on the income side. And they'll say, well, what's that got to do with anything? What's that matter? Well, you may only earn 0% over here. There's no guarantees that that'll grow. So they'll look at me kind of surprised. They'll say, you mean I'm really not getting 4%? And I'll say, no, you're only getting 4% to use that to calculate it. So what we showed on the last slide, in fact, let's put that back up full screen, Aaron. If you'll notice, remember, there's a contract side and an income side. So we're doing the same thing here. We have a contract side and an income side, all right? At death, remember, when you die, it can go to your spouse, but let's assume you and your spouse are both deceased. This entire value is gone. It is not a real number, folks, and your heirs are going to be left with what's in the contract value. So sometimes people come to me, this happens a lot, maybe they've got a CD or maybe they've received an inheritance, and they just want a safe place to put their money. So a lot of times we might use accumulation annuities between 5 and 10 years. Usually they pay higher rates to you. That's one advantage of an accumulation annuity. Generally no fees. And every year, PFW stands for penalty-free withdrawal. Every year if you need the money, we can take out 10% penalty-free and send it to you. In addition to that, there's some unique tax planning strategies we can involve ourselves in with accumulation products. So I guess the question is, do you go with an accumulation annuity or an income annuity? How much is the fee? Who's going to pay the fee? How much is left? The only way we know what we're going to do on that, folks, is we have to meet in person. And that's the best part. When you think about retirement, if you're thinking about guaranteed income, folks, I've been doing this a long time. I'm in my 35th year in this business. I'm a fiduciary. We're A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. In my time of working with annuities, I've written nearly $400 million of annuities, nearly 3,000 contracts. I don't know what you're reading on the internet or hearing on TV and radio. We know these products very well. And if you're a saver, if you're more concerned about the return of your money than on it, these products may be perfect for what you're trying to do in retirement planning. So why don't you do this? Once you log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, you have nothing to lose and possibly lots to gain. There is no cost or obligation to meet with me in person. I can meet with you at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. So log on now, TonyWalkerFinancial.com, and let's get started. Well, does the Bible have anything to say about salesmen and what we hear and what we do and how we respond and how the world might try to hoodwink us? Oh boy, good stuff coming up. We're going to see what the Bible has to say about your money, but first, I got to get me a cup of coffee. Hang in there. Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no obligation appointment. Let us help you today.
Worried about running out of money in retirement? Then download Mailbox Money for Life from six-time author and retirement planning specialist Tony Walker. Just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. That's TonyWalkerFinancial.com.
Who can you trust? It's one of the most important decisions you'll have to make. Question is, are you ready? Well, we're here to help at Tony Walker Financial. You know, we care more about you than we do your money, and we have over 2,000 happy clients and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau to prove it. Rolling over a 401k, confused about Social Security, maybe you're afraid of running out of money. Learn how to use and enjoy and protect your hard-earned money. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and let's get started. In Luke chapter 8, beginning in verse 10, Jesus is concerned that the average person will not understand the mysteries of God as contained in His Word. So, in only the way Jesus can, He speaks in something called parables. And in this parable, He is warning others that the world will take His words and try to either steal them or rob your joy in believing things other than what's true. In verse 17, He says the following, "For nothing is secret that will not be revealed, nor anything hidden that will not be known and come to light." In today's show, we are basically talking about a world full of salespeople, Tommy boys, if you will, who only tell you what they know you want to hear. Why? Well, so they can convince you to turn your money over to them. That's all this game really is, and it's played out each and every day. People with more knowledge than you have, whom you place your trust in, and all the while, what does the world say? And I think this is what Jesus is saying, let the buyer beware. In other words, be careful what you hear and how you act upon what you hear. Jesus is saying that nothing is secret, so while someone is selling you a 8-10% guarantee, whatever this rider is that we're talking about, the secret is that it comes with a cost, and if you listen and look at this under the light, you'll see it very clearly. The point being, nothing is hidden. If you know where to look for it, you'll find it. Now in verse 18, Jesus says this, "Therefore, take heed," in other words, let the buyer beware, "of what you hear. For whoever has to him more will be given," Jesus says, "and whoever does not have, even what he seems to have will be taken from him." In the book of Ecclesiastes, the richest man who ever walked the face of the earth says in chapter 8, verse 17, "Then I saw all the work of God, that a man cannot find out the work that is done under the sun. For though a man labors to discover it, yet he will not find it. Moreover, though a wise man attempts to know it, he will not be able to find it." So what is it, the it? And how do you find this it? Well, assuming you're a follower of Jesus Christ, you know what that it is. It's what Jesus is talking about in Luke. The it is the joy and freedom found in the love of God. And God loves His children so much that He was gracious enough to give us two helpers, two truths to guide us and protect us. We have His Word as disclosed in the Bible, and just as importantly, His Holy Spirit with which to interpret it. So rather than falling victim to the goofy schemes and BS of this world, lean on His truth, His Word, and His Spirit, and I assure you, you'll be just fine. Well, how about you and your money? Is your money really that secure? Do you even know or understand how best to use and enjoy and protect it? Whether it's money in the stock market that could tank at any minute, or an annuity you thought was a great deal, or worse yet, have no clue how to deal with the taxes buried inside your 401k and what that's going to cost your kids when you die, there is no excuse for not educating yourself on these options. We are here to help you shed light on what's true and what's not true. The more you know about annuities and stocks and bonds and mutual funds and taxes and fees, the better able you are to protect your money. As a fiduciary, as one of the leading individual producers of annuities in the country, I know these products very well. I understand how to make an intelligent decision on whether you need an annuity and, most importantly, which type of annuity is right for you. So why leave your retirement to chance and buy something you don't need or possibly don't understand? Let's sit down, you and me, to review your situation to see how we can replace guaranteed income with more guaranteed income. And yes, whether or not it's an annuity with an income rider or no income rider or a Charles Schwab platform, it doesn't matter. We are here to help you worry less about money. So to set up a time to meet with me in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices, all you got to do is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Once there, you click on that Let's Get Started button. We'll take it from there. Our offices will reach out to you and schedule a no obligation appointment with me in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. So do it now, don't delay. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and click on that Let's Get Started. And oh, one more thing, by the way, that my latest book is now out, Live Well, Die Broke. You can go to major booksellers or Amazon to check it out. Live Well, Die Broke. I think you'll really enjoy this book. It's a doozy, folks. Well, until next time, we hope you've enjoyed the Worry-Free Retirement. In fact, we're going to go into detail about our unique split IRA worry-free concept. What is it? How does it work? And how might it benefit savers with maximum flexibility and also that beloved mailbox money? I'll see you next week, but you remember, between now and then, if all else fails, you be worry-free.